So enough of the preaching of Peter. Let's move to the preaching of Paul. So Paul's first sermon in the book of Acts is in Acts chapter 13. And I'm going to read verses 22 through 23. So it says in Acts 13:22, after he had removed him, he raised up David to be their king, concerning whom we also testified and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after my heart, who will do all my will. From the descendants of this man, according to promise, God has brought to Israel a Savior, Jesus. Acts 13, verses 22 through 23. So Paul begins by talking about David. David being the person through whom God is going to rule. But then we see again the allusion to the Davidic covenant, the promise that one of David's descendants is going to rule as the king. And we can see here Paul quite clearly saying in verse 23, from the descendants of this man, from the descendants of David, a human being, we have Jesus, someone who has been brought to Israel by God. So the descendant of David is not God. The descendant of David is Jesus, the Savior that God has brought to Israel. So Jesus is not God. He's distinguished from God. But again, Jesus is a lineal descendant of David. He's a human being. He doesn't pre-exist David. He's someone who comes after David. That's the plain reading of this passage. And again, we're seeing it with the preaching of Paul and the preaching of Peter, as we saw in Acts chapter 2, verse 30. So this is not a God-man. This is not God who comes down to earth and takes on humanity. This is someone distinguished from God, and he is a descendant of David.